Bob Marley's One Love is a biopic of the reggae legend that focuses on his life and music from 1976 to 1978 when he was involved in the political turmoil of Jamaica and the independence of Zimbabwe. The movie has received mixed reviews from critics and audiences who praised the music and performances but criticized the lack of depth and originality in the story. People are upset that Bob Marley's visit to Zimbabwe was not included in the movie. Here are some reasons why it was not included. Reason number 1, the reason why the movie omitted this episode is not clear, but it could be because the movie wanted to focus on Marley's personal and musical journey in Jamaica and London, rather than his political and social activism in Africa. Bob Marley's visit to Zimbabwe was a historic and symbolic moment for both him and the Zimbabwean people. He was invited by Robert Mugabe, the first Prime Minister of Zimbabwe, to perform at the Independence Day ceremony on April 18, 1980. After arriving in Zimbabwe for the concert, Bob Marley anticipated smooth sailing. However, while he was performing on stage, a riot broke out and police had to tear gas people, causing a power outage. Bob Marley had to be removed from the stage. However, a few hours later, everything quieted down and he returned to the stage to perform. He sang songs of freedom, Zimbabwe, Africa Unite, and Redemption Song. My opinion is maybe the producers didn't have enough money to film in Zimbabwe and employ extras for that part. Reason number 2. Who invited Bob Marley to Zimbabwe? The one and only Robert Mugabe. Who was Robert Mugabe? Robert Mugabe was a Zimbabwean politician who served as the Prime Minister and later the President of Zimbabwe from 1980 to 2017. He was a leader of the African nationalist movement that fought against the white minority rule of Rhodesia. He was also a controversial figure who faced criticism for his authoritarian rule, human rights violations, and economic mismanagement. Some of the human rights violations committed by Mugabe and his regime include the Gukurahundi massacres, in which an estimated 20,000 people, mostly from the Ndebele ethnic minority, were killed by the army in Matabeleland and Midlands provinces between 1983 and 1987. The political violence and repression of the opposition, civil society, and media, especially during the 2000, 2002, 2005, and 2008 elections, which resulted in hundreds of deaths, thousands of injuries, and countless cases of torture, harassment, intimidation, and arbitrary arrests. The state-induced famine and economic collapse, which caused widespread hunger, poverty, and suffering for millions of Zimbabweans, as well as a massive exodus of refugees to neighboring countries due to Mugabe's disastrous policies of land reform, price controls, currency devaluation, and corruption. My opinion is that the movie did not want to portray the controversial figure of Robert Mugabe, who was the first Prime Minister of Zimbabwe and invited Marley to perform at the ceremony. Mugabe later became a dictator who oppressed and killed his own people and was eventually ousted from power in a coup in November 2017. While he played a significant role in Zimbabwe's struggle for independence and initially implemented policies aimed at social and economic justice, his later years in power were marked by authoritarianism, human rights abuses, economic mismanagement, and political repression. He passed away on September 6, 2019, at the age of 95. I am Angie. Thanks for watching, subscribe and share this video.